psychology is the hardest part in trading. That's because, let's say you start off the account at zero or whatever, you're in a losing streak, okay? You face a losing streak, so you get, let me take this out. You get one loss, you get a second loss, you get a third loss. In here, you're still following your plan. You know that everything's okay, right? You still follow your plan. But as the losses become more and more in the account, you get another loss, you start to change everything up. And then in this trade right here, there could have been a win on a corner. Like, you know, if you knew that in your plan, like, it's totally normal to get four trades in a row, to get four losing trades in a row, you'd still be following your plan. That's why you gotta know the data, because a winning a winning trade might just be around the corner, even though you're having a bunch of losses, you're in a losing streak. But because this fourth loss after three in a row is already affecting you so much, you're gonna start to change everything up, and this trade will become another loss, another loss, another loss, because it's different to your edge. You're no longer with the four losses in a row normal data. All right, because you know that if you were to check on your data and actually look for this stuff, you know that four losses in a row is completely normal. As soon as you go above that, there's a problem. And here, of course, there's a problem. The problem is this fourth loss is affecting you so much that you start to change everything up. And once you start to change everything up, you can't expect the same results. You can't expect the same data. Okay? If my data tells me I trade this way and I'll get a 40% win rate, then if I do that on a long trade sample, then of course I'll get similar results to that, very close to that. But if I had that strategy and all of a sudden I start changing things, like, I'll get a completely different result. Okay, and when I say change it up, bro, it can be as little as a stop loss trail management. Those small little things can have a huge impact on your profitability, on your results. Okay, trading outside of your trading hours. Okay, trading a session that you know don't normally trade. Fucking change it up from limit to stop order. Increasing the stop loss size a little bit. There, a little change, just a little change, can dramatically change your results. Okay, so you don't know with that change how it's gonna result. Like, you don't know the stats of that change. Okay, you only know the stats of your strategy itself, but you gotta know it on a deeper level though, because if you were on your fourth loss, you would be okay with it still. I mean, we're all humans, okay? We all have emotions, so we're all gonna feel a certain way about these losses. But in my case, I know that 4 or 5 losses, even five, okay? Let's say if I take 5 losses in a row, I know that's completely normal. I know that's completely normal because I have a large trade sample size. And if I check that, I see that in multiple periods where I had a losing streak, I had about 4 losses in average in those big losing streaks. And in max, I had 5 some of the times, okay? So I know as long as the losing streak is under 5, so like this, it's under 5 losses in a row, I know that everything's okay. Everything is going along with the plan. But if all of a sudden I have 10 losses in a row, then something's up. Something's definitely up. Okay? Because in my strategy, I can put 1,000 trades in, following exactly everything to the T. And 10 trades in a row, that's very unlikely. That's very unlikely. So something's up. And when you go to see it, of course, something's up. Either you're not emotionally stable, you added another thing, you're going more risky, you're playing aggressive setups that aren't so confluent with the strategy. There's a bunch of reasons that can be included. All right. So I would advise you to check up on your data and see how many losses are common. Okay, this will be good for you to adapt it into a profit strategy. Okay, if you know the max drawdown is a certain percentage, let's say you go for a step one where the max drawdown is 6%, you know that you can't be risking 1% if the your average losing streak is like 8% or something. Just keep in mind the max drawdown levels and your average losing uh, streak. Okay, and factor in that with a risk percentage amount you're willing to take. Okay, because if I'm a scalper, for example, or if I'm someone that has a very, not a scalper, but let's say I have a low win rate. Okay, let's say I have a low win rate of 20%. That doesn't mean I'm bad. That just means I can compensate the profitability with the risk reward. Okay, let's say if I have a 20% win rate, I can be easily profitable with 5R. Okay, 20% win rate. I have to have the psychology in order to endure the amount of losses that I'm going to get. Okay, in 10 trades, that means losing 8. But once that win comes in, I'm back to being profitable. Okay, so if and let's say in that case with the 20% win rate, let's say I can expect losing streaks of 8 losses in a row. If I can't have my account being minus 8%, let's say if I'm trading a personal, of course that doesn't look too good if the losing streaks are all minus 8%. Let's say I advise my risk. I advise my risk to 0.5. And then the max drawdowns become 4%. And that's way more appealing for investors. For example, if I'm trying to build a track record to attract private investors, or even following the same concept in a prop firm industry, just using the max drawdown level. It's things that you got to think about. It's things that you got to check on your own data. We all trade differently, so you got to check it on yourself. And that's why I say, like, when you backtest, don't just backtest for no reason. Backtest, gather the data. FX Replay is good. If you want a code, there's a link. There's my link in the description and the code for you to get a recurrent discount over the months. But it's not enough. Okay, you got to do things outside of that and get really specific, like things like this, things like average losses, max amount of losses. I think FX Replay tells you that though. I think FX Replay tells you that, but yeah, I think it tells average and max loss. So it's good. So in a certain way, it's good. But yeah, it's better if you really have an Excel spreadsheet and you can actually see the list and check on what's your average. Check on what's your average, because then when you're in a losing streak, you don't go overboard. Then you just start adding shit and be emotionally affected by the losses. You stay calm because even though you're minus 4%, minus 4R in performance, that's completely okay. That's completely related to the plan, to the edge. So you know that if you continue, eventually a win will be around the corner, or some wins, and you know that by following the edge in the long term you're profitable. Okay, as long as you have the data to back it up, you'll always be confident about it, and you will always see success at the end. Just not in a short sample size maybe, but over the long term, over a long sample size of trades, you know that you'll be profitable. That's it for the video. Hope you guys like it. Hope you guys got some value out of it. Follow me on Instagram because I'm dropping sauce over there. DM me if you need help with trading. Join the free Discord because there's a lot of value in there as well. And I'll see you on the next one, boys. Peace out.